Hey everyone, welcome to my first career save. We're going to do a rebuild on Sheffield Wednesday. I grew up in the 90s and Sheffield Wednesday were a key part of the Premier League, and I've got a lot of memories of them being in the top flight and watching them on Match of the Day. So it'd be great to rebuild these guys and get them back to the top flight. So to keep the save realistic, I'm going to put a cap in place for players based on the average of the squad. We're also going to be limited to one youth scout in the first season with an additional one granted per promotion. And we're also going to simulate all the games apart from the important ones. Here we go.
A warm welcome to you all. Without further delay, we are pleased to introduce your new manager.
So one of the key aspects I really want to focus on in this save is the financial management, as Sheffield Wednesday had a lot of problems with finances in the past, but also the youth development. Youth development in the career mode can be quite overpowered, so we'll put these rules in place just to make sure that players that we develop are sold on when it feels right. So our star player, homegrown talent, is Eliot Vincent. He looks a decent prospect already. And looking at his stats, he doesn't really look like a centre midfielder to me, he looks more like a striker. So the first thing we're going to do is get a training plan in place for him. Let's convert him into a striker. The striker's one of the weaker parts of Sheffield Wednesday's side at the minute. They've got a lot of older players, so it would be great to see Vincent come through and try and stake a claim. The other two we've got Enrique Peralta, who's a left midfielder. And again, he's distinctly average. So hopefully we can start developing him. So what we'll do, we'll start by focusing on his physicals, try and get that stamina and his pace up. And then looking at the next one, Pontus Eklund. Again, he's a very average player. And the default tactic for Sheffield Wednesday is actually wing backs. So whether these guys will ever actually make it to the team, it remains to be seen. But if they see good development, we can always sell them on. So we'll get them both on their training plans, and then we'll review our visions and expectations. So unfortunately, youth development is low. Brand exposure, 5 clean sheets in home matches, that shouldn't be too difficult. The board want us to win the title and reach the last 16 of the FA Cup. And also to keep our salary and growth under 5%. I think all of those are pretty achievable. The promotion winning the league is quite tough, and there's lots of good teams around, and there's lots of competition, so it could be quite a difficult one to achieve automatic promotion in the first season. So we'll have a quick look at the teams who will be competing with us next year for this title. We've got Sunderland. I think they'll be one of the better teams in the league this year. Wigan, who were close last year. Wycombe, who were relegated with us last year from the Championship. Cambridge, who came up. Charlton have been in League One for a while now. Ipswich are a very good side and they should be competing at the top of the league this year. Morecambe, Oxford have been a really good team in recent years. Portsmouth looks very strong this year, and Rotherham United, who also came down with us last year. So some really good teams to compete with. So if we go in and take a look at our squad now, you can see we've got a squad of 30 players, but it's probably a bit too big, especially with 8 attackers and 11 defenders. We need to balance the squad out a little bit better. If we look across, we can see that we've got 6 players on loan, which is quite concerning. We don't need that many players on loan, and I won't be taking that many players going forward. But 3 of those loanees are competitors for the centre-back position. So we've got Lewis Gibson, Harley Dean and Jordan Story. We've got a couple of guys in our squad who have been around for a while, like Jack Hunt, who's a decent standard, but his contract's running out at the end of the season. If we look down, we've got quite a few players who will be out of contract at the end of this season. 10 players could leave at the end of the year. So what we'll do is we'll wait until January, we'll see which ones are playing in the team, which ones are performing well before we make a decision on new contracts for those guys. Barry Bannon's our top earner, and at 72 rated in the League One, I'm quite happy to keep him on that wage for now. He's getting older, but he's still a really good talent. On to our finances now, and as I've said before, I really want to focus on making sure that Sheffield Wednesday are a profitable club as we go. So, looking at the budget we have, I think we can be very competitive in the league. The 4 million budget gives us a bit of wiggle room to operate in the January transfer window. And what I am going to do is actually increase the wage budget to 20%, which gives us a roughly 77 grand a week to spend on wages. And I plan to use that to implement a wage cap as we go forward to make sure that we're not going to exceed what we should be spending. So on to our youth staff now, and as mentioned before, we're only going to have one scout in League One, and he's going to spend his time in England looking for talent. As we progress through the seasons, each promotion will grant us a new scout, so hopefully by the time we get to the Premier League we'll have 3 really good scouts out there looking for players, and we can start developing our own. As we saw before, we've got 6 players on loan at the minute, and I don't want to have to rely on loan players going forward. I'd rather have my own players in the squad that we're developing week on week, so that'd be our main aim. So looking at our squad, we've got 2 decent goalkeepers in Peacock Farrell and Wildsmith. Johnson and Brown will compete for left back, which is great. We've only got 1 right back though in Jack Hunt, and we've got 8 centre backs, so we definitely need to work on the balance here. 3 of the centre backs are on loan, so we need to look at that, and Brennan's quite low rated at the minute, so whether he will see any first team action remains to be seen. I think the starting back 3 will probably be Story, Iorfa and Dean. They're probably the best 3 that we have at the minute. And looking at Iorfa, who's been at Sheffield Wednesday for a while now, I genuinely thought he would have developed a lot quicker and been in a championship team, to be quite honest. Massimo Luongo is a quality CDM, but I don't plan on playing one, so I might look to convert him to a centre back. Liam Waldock and Hunt are both young midfielders. Waldock I just don't see really making the grade. Obviously we'll put them all on development plans to try and improve them, but Waldock's quite a long way off the first team at the minute. Deli Bashiru, Adinenron, Bannan and Byers will all compete for the central midfield roles, so we're going to probably play 2 CMs, and it will more than likely be Bannan and Adinenron, although Deli Bashiru will be given his chance, because obviously if he's out of contract in the summer we want to make sure he's given a chance to stake a claim in the squad beforehand. Byers is a quality player at this level, as is Mendes Lang, but again if we're going to play 5-3-2 with wing backs, Mendes Lang doesn't really fit unless we can convert him to a cam. Same with Shadipo, who's only on loan. John Jules looks a decent young talent. Josh Windass is class for this level, and I will probably look to convert him to a cam, because I think it suits his role a lot better. If we take a look at his stats, you can see that he has the attributes to be a cam. He's a good striker, but I think we can get better. Cambry we're not really interested in. Silasau is another one. He's quite young. He doesn't really fit a cam or a wide player, so he is a striker, but just whether he can make the grade. Sider Berahino, we've all remember him from his time at Stoke and trying to force a move through to other clubs. So yeah, we've got lots to think about. Jordan Story and Barry Bannan are our top valued players, and as we've already looked at, Bannan and Harley Dean and Mendes Lang are all on our top wages. So lots to consider. I don't want to do a big bulk and get rid of loads of players in one go, and with the first transfer window not being open, it gives us half a season to really focus on the team we've got. Players like Wildsmith, I need to decide if we're going to prioritise him over Peacock Farrell. It's probably the wiser thing to do, get rid of the loan players, and hopefully what we'll do is by not playing the loan players so much, they'll recall them in January and we won't have to pay the fee for them. Finally, looking at the breakdown of the squad, we've got a lot of crucial and important players who we just can't facilitate. I want to have 4 crucial players and 7 important players to make up the 11. So the 4 crucial players are players we can't be without, the 7 important players are those around them. Here we've got 6 crucial players. One of them is Mendes Lang, who probably won't play. Looking at the important players, a load of them are strikers, and we just can't fit all of those in. We can't have 21 players expecting first team football, as that would just feed into like unhappy players across the squad. So the aim is 4 crucial, 7 important. Below that, we want to have 7 rotational players, so they're the players who will be on the sub bench. There'll be players who can step into the first team if we need them to. 5 sporadic and 5 prospects, which gives us a nice rounded squad, and we can really work with that and make sure that all the players get the game time they need and want. So come January, we're going to have to look at who's not getting the minutes that they deserve or have the status that is undeserving of their role in the team, and make some decisions on whether they stay or not. So just to recap, this is the squad breakdown. We're going to have 4 crucial, 7 important, 7 rotation, 5 sporadic and 5 prospects. And this is our wage budget allocated out to each player. So you can see at the minute we've got 2 too many crucial players and 8 too many important players. So lots to be done here. I just wanted to say thank you once again for tuning in, and in the next episode we'll be looking at August and getting the matches in August played. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. It really helps, and thank you so much for your support so far.